Welcome back, guys. Today I'm breaking down how one developer built an online learning platform to almost $1 million a month in revenue in one of the most saturated markets on the internet. Most people think coding courses are impossible to compete in because there are hundreds of players, but Lane Wagner proved the opposite, and the secret has everything to do with being called the Purple Cow strategy. So let's break down exactly what this Purple Cow strategy is, and this is who Lane is and what he built. So Lane is a software engineer who built boot.dev. I'm a fan of the domain, pretty slick. And basically, it's an interactive learning platform for back-end developers. It isn't just video lessons. It forces you to code like you would in a real job, in the browser, on your machine, inside realistic environments. So this is a utility SaaS that's also kind of gamified. So because of that, boot.dev now sits at 25,000 paying subscribers and brings in close to $1 million per month. Absolute insanity, guys. And by the way, guys, I offer one-to-one mentoring in the description below. Whether it's your first customer or you're already at 3K per month and just want to hit 10K per month, doesn't matter the phase you're in, because I walk the same path that you're in right now, all the way to listing my SaaS for sale to private equity. So this is only for the serious people who want to speed up their growth. Let's get back into the video. So this is why boot.dev took off, okay? It's called the Purple Cow strategy. Lane's entire advantage came from looking nothing like his competitors. Most new founders look at the top players and think, okay, their site is beautiful, I'll make mine look like theirs. But Lane did the opposite. He intentionally made boot.dev feel unique, different, and instantly recognizable, like Seth Godin's Purple Cow, something so distinct you can't ignore it. I actually see this often in the startup community, especially on Twitter, where these big SaaS founder Twitter accounts are promoting their own SaaS ideas, and that's how they get customers. But they make their SaaS application so straightforward and almost like it's a video game, and the site looks cute. And yeah, so I think a lot of people are already running the Purple Cow strategy. So anyways, Lane also identified a gap. Everyone online teaches front end, but very few teach back end, databases, infrastructure, or Go. That vacuum was opening, and boot.dev existed simply because Lane noticed, I can't hire back end engineers because no one is teaching back end engineering. And honestly, guys, with Cursor and Vibe coding becoming more mainstream, there are two arguments to make. Number one is back-end development is going to be more valuable, or number two, Cursor is also going to be able to communicate with back-end and explain things in a more simple manner to the users, and it'll actually be the opposite, where front-end and back-end will be vibe-coded simultaneously. So leave a comment what you guys think, but I'm thinking the latter. So enough about back-end, let's talk about the backstory from engineer to founder. And at that time, Lane was making $200K a year leading a small engineering team. Boot.dev had just started making $2K per month, which wasn't anywhere near enough to quit his job, especially with a second child on the way, having a family and responsibilities. But he believed the business would grow if he dedicated real time to it. His wife was nervous about the risk, and Lane himself wasn't comfortable leaping blind. Then a ex-CFO, chief finance officer he knew, invested $330K pretty early. That gave him runway, confidence, and enough safety to go all in. So how did he validate the idea? The idea didn't come from a brainstorm, it came from a pain point. Lane needed Go developers. He opened roles and barely got applicants. Everyone entering coding was being pushed towards front end because that's what every boot camp teaches, and back end learners had nowhere to go, which meant there was a massive underserved market. That insight became the core of boot dev. And it's crazy, guys, but this is such a niche down SaaS, but it's making close to $1 million per month. So don't be afraid. As long as your target customer is decent and you're not selling to college students, you can niche down into a vertical as much as you want and still expect probably 10 to 100K monthly recurring revenue at baseline. So how did he build the first version, and why most MVPs fail? Most people think MVP means build a crappy version fast. Lane's view is the opposite. MVP equals minimum quantity, not minimum quality. You solve one problem extremely well for one specific type of customer. If you try to serve multiple personas, you die. And guys, if your product is low quality, you also die. And one thing that I learned is boot dev launched a tiny scope, but the core experience was great. And a lot of you guys may be asking, what's his tech stack? So his backend is Golang, Postgres for database, Vue, and Nux for front end, Docker plus Kubernetes, Google Cloud plus Cloudflare hosting, and for operations and marketing, PostHog, SendGrid for email, Stripe for billing. So how does boot dev monetize? So all of boot dev's courses, about 30 of them, are free. You only pay when you want the interactive engine, projects, and long-term learning tools. I'm assuming people get through the courses. That's when boot dev kind of hooks them in and gets them monetized. So letting people experience the real product before paying ended up being a massive conversion advantage that contrasts a lot with today's hard paywalls, especially in the mobile app community. But one of the reasons why he could probably scale is because his platform was open for everybody, had a high K factor, which in other words is just a higher word of mouth. That helps with marketing and accelerated him to close to $1 million a month. So he had a couple growth phases. Growth phase number 1 was his 0 to 2K per month. And basically he just blogged the whole time. The first bump in revenue came entirely from Lane's engineering blog. It brought in people who deeply cared about back-end development, which fed him real product feedback early, but blogging alone plateaued him around 2K per month. So his growth phase number 2 was 2K to 30K per month, which was trust-based influencer traffic. Lane discovered that education is a trust business. People don't trust random ads. They trust creators they already follow. So Lane started partnering with influencers, especially Free Code Camp, where he gave them an 8-hour course to publish for free. That alone pushed Boot Dev to 30K per month. Growth phase number 3 is 30K to $1 million a month, which is scaling creator content. Lane couldn't personally create enough YouTube content to scale traffic to 7 figures, but other creators could. So Boot Dev started sponsoring YouTube integrations and leaned heavily into gaming creators, not coding creators. So you're probably asking, why gaming? Because developers overlap heavily with gaming culture, and Boot Dev's style resonates with that audience even more than with traditional coding channels. And by the way, that's a very smart play. Now that I think about it, gaming creators do overlap heavily with coding creators. So let me repeat this one more time. That's 30K per month, all the way to $1 million a month, just by targeting gaming creators and being a bit fancy with his distribution. So this is the advice I give you guys to win at influencer collabs. You guys want to make influencers' lives insanely easy. That means you create the B-roll, you write the talking points, you over-deliver, you're fast and easy to work with, because if you do, you get better rates and more repeat deals. And always ask your existing customers who they watch. That's the fastest way to find high-fit creators. So a couple things, guys. Marketing only works if the product is good. You should focus almost exclusively on building the right thing before scaling traffic. Early stage founders should be obsessively solving one problem for one customer, not trying to be the CEO too early of delegating everything. So, if you're a founder, Lane's advice is to learn the hard skills themselves, whether that's marketing, engineering, or product. Now, obviously, if you do have a little bit of money, I would definitely speed up the growth curve and hire out perhaps for development, and then you be the marketing guy, or vice versa. So what are the numbers as of date? So $5.7 million in revenue, 300K cost of goods sold, 600 to 700K salaries plus contractors, $2 million spent on marketing, and $2.5 million profit. Very few education businesses operate this lean. So guys, what you guys should take from this video is you should separate learning and doing. A lot of you guys consume content for months, then try to take action. You should be taking action from day one while you're consuming content. And a lot of people try to be the CEO too early. They want to hire specialists instead of learning the hard skills the business needs. If you're a developer, you may need to learn marketing. If you're a marketer, you may need to learn foundational development skills. And the founders who win are the ones who follow their curiosity deep into a problem and take action before they feel ready. So that's it for today's video, guys. Leave a comment in the comment section below. Check out the link in the description and have a good one. See you tomorrow.